This is really strange, but I have to say it. So I was just trying to have an orgasm basically, and this vision came through, which is kind of interesting because I have no idea where it came from because I wasn't thinking about it or him at the time. But yeah, I just got this really strong vision of R. Kelly. He looked like R. Kelly. He didn't look like R. Kelly, but he did look like R. Kelly, strangely enough. But he didn't look like R. Kelly. I mean, he looked black, but I don't know if he actually would have been black. But um, he was on a pogo. I don't know what a pogo is. Um, a stand where four people are holding him, and he's like sitting on a throne basically. And I saw this just walking up like some sort of Egyptian ceremony, and they were walking to the Great Pyramid of Pisa or whatever that is. And I've got a really strong feeling because I was trying to think like uh, like a half 10 minutes 20 minutes ago, I was try and work out like his story and just think about you know maybe what his past is or something. And I would have thought maybe he would have been someone who was like in a cult or something. Like I think he deserves to be in prison. Basically, I don't think he deserves to be in prison because of what happened with the girls. I feel like that was an arrangement. They knew what was happening. They, were aware what was happening. Okay, things probably went slow. Things went in the wrong direction, probably too fast. But I think the thing is with when you're in a good position, nice house, nice bedroom, nice, you like the people that you're with, um, it's you could probably tolerate more crap happening to you if the person that's doing the crap is also giving you lots of nice things. It's like as the bad grows, the good grows too. And if you're in an abusive relationship and the guy doesn't have a job, isn't doing much for you, you know, it's easier to push them away unless, of course, you have kids or unless you actually have genuine feelings for that person, and then it's harder and stuff. And what he did with his wife, I feel like he does deserve prison over that. Because when I try and think about that, I feel like my higher self shows me images of, here's this one and this one and this one and this one, just images of people who've got bruises all over their faces because of domestic violence. So I feel like he does deserve prison for what he did with the first wife. But with the other girls, I just don't feel sympathy or sorry for them. But I'm still trying to figure out like what would his past be. And 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 I didn't actually quite figure it out, but I was guessing maybe he was in the cult. People like to replay things they've done in their past life, and if he's the angel of the occult leader or sexual occult leader, then I guess um, that's that would have been maybe his maybe God doesn't make people do bad things. God just looks to see what people do and knows that if this is their past, then it's likely that they're going to recreate it again. So he probably was. There's a lot of cults in the past and a lot of sex ritualing and stuff. And I don't know. Maybe he was someone who got involved in one of those lives. But I also sense that he was an old soul, like a soul that's very old because of his mannerisms and stuff. And I was trying to think about that half an hour ago, and I think about loads of things. Okay? I think about loads of things. But yeah, I got this strong vision of him sitting on one of those carry thrones. Poggle, is that Poggle? And being led up into the pyramid, and then I'm thinking about his behavior and stuff like that, and it fits. The person who built the pyramids was not a nice person. That was built with slavery. That was built with beating of people, and people, the person at the top seeing these builders as being like ants, and you know um and them believing that they're better than everyone else, and you know building a pyramid for him and his girls so that they could live for eternity in some sort of world where he will always be a god, and the women that he gets buried with, will always be his women. I don't know why they spent their whole life literally. The pyramid was, but it's a big thing. so many people kind of worship or idolize the Egyptian pyramid because wow, it's so big, wow, it's so impressive. You know, whoever built that must have been so smart. I've heard people, lots of archaeologists say, you know, they had technology that we didn't have, and going on about how amazing they are. I mean, I've got a strong feeling that actually the world was just going round at a different pace back then, hence hence gravity wasn't as, you know, if the world is going round, well, going slower, gravity, or spinning slower, gravity would be less. I don't know what would make gravity less, but I think it's something to do with the turn, and I think my higher self knows. And because when I see the visions, I've had visions of people building the pyramids, and they've got like 7, 8 men carrying one stone, but I feel like in reality, it would take far more than 7 or 8 men carrying one stone. You know, that they're carrying these stones as if they're fairly light stones. And I've got a feeling that maybe the reason why is because gravity wasn't as bad. Gravity was slightly different back then. I've got a feeling that my higher self can change gravity if you know the spin is if the spin changes or something. I don't know. How else would you be able to, if you're a god, how else would you be able to change gravity? Ask scientists to look into that question. Um, you know, if you could do powers like change the spinning speed of it or something, I don't really know. But I've got a feeling that he was the one who built it, and yeah, he was a terrible, horrible person. But in exchange for that, I don't think that was his past life. I think he's had loads of lives. I think that was his very, very past life, and I think he's had a couple of other lives where, um, you know, I mean, whoever built the pyramids definitely deserved a lot of abuse, um, because um, because of turning humans into, you know, he turned his brethren into slaves, and then he would have, loads of people got beaten and loads of people would be awful. But yeah, if he feels like he's, like, if his past lives have had a lot of abuse in them, I think the reason why there's been a lot of abuse in his past lives is because he was the one who built the pyramids, but he built it on huge amounts of slavery. Hence, his punishment for that would have been to have many lives where he got abused and beaten, and faced all the things that his you know his people would have felt. So yeah, I think he's a very strong person. I mean, maybe not really. He's probably breaking up inside, but you know, he likes to have this strong person because of abuse that he's faced. But I feel like any abuse that he's faced in his past life is kind of fair. Although I still don't think he deserves 30 years. But yeah, that's I just thought I'd say that.